In what could become one of the most pivotal moments in African legal history, the Democratic Republic of Congo finds itself at the center of a storm that stretches far beyond its borders. On August 22, 2025, a military courtroom in Kinshasa was the stage of a seismic announcement. The prosecution demanded the death sentence for Joseph Kabila, the country's former president who led the nation through 2 decades of conflict, transition, and controversy. This is not a routine trial, nor is it an isolated political event. This is a moment that may reshape not only Congolese politics, but the way Africa views leadership, justice, and accountability. It is the first time in modern African history that a former head of state, one who handed over power without a coup, is being targeted for capital punishment. And with it, a question rises. Does this signal a new dawn of justice, or is it a dangerous precedent that could shake Africa's democratic future? Joseph Kabila came to power in January 2001 after the assassination of his father, President Laurent Kabila. At just 29 years old, he inherited a nation scarred by one of the deadliest conflicts since World War II. The world watched closely as the young leader took the helm of a fragile state. Over the years, Kabila guided the DRC through the end of war, organized elections, and brought a degree of international recognition. But the legacy he leaves behind is deeply divided. Critics point to his refusal to step down in 2016 after reaching his constitutional term limit, sparking mass protests, crackdowns, and political unrest. Eventually, in 2018, he handed power to Felix Tshisekedi, but many say his shadow continued to loom over the country's institutions. Now he faces a long list of serious charges. Prosecutors accuse him of war crimes, including murder, torture, and forced displacement of civilians. They also charge him with treason, conspiracy, and allegedly supporting the notorious M23 rebel group, a militia that has brought devastation to eastern Congo. The M23, named after a failed peace deal signed on March 23, 2009, has gained notoriety for its military precision and violent operations. The group has been accused of displacing thousands of families, taking over towns, and disrupting trade routes vital to the region's economy. Investigators claim that Kabila was not only aware of their actions, but directly supported them through financial aid, strategic guidance, and coordination with foreign actors, particularly Rwanda, which has denied involvement. As the court proceedings unfold, Kabila remains in exile, reportedly residing in South Africa. The trial is being conducted in absentia, raising concerns among international observers and legal experts about the fairness of the process. Still, the charges have sparked intense debate across the continent. For some Congolese citizens, especially in the conflict-ravaged regions of North and South Kivu, the trial is a long-awaited chance at justice. Survivors of rebel violence have spoken out, saying this is the first time their pain is being acknowledged on such a high level. Families who lost loved ones in attacks see the proceedings as a form of recognition, if not closure. But others fear the implications. Supporters of Kabila argue the trial is politically motivated, aimed at erasing the influence of a former rival. Members of his political party have denounced the accusations as part of a larger campaign to eliminate dissent. M23 leaders have also dismissed any connection with Kabila, labeling the charges as a tactic to scapegoat him and deflect from the complexity of Congo's conflict. The controversy has drawn attention across Africa and beyond. Rwanda, often linked to regional conflicts, rejected any suggestion of collaboration with Kabila or involvement with M23. Uganda, another neighboring country affected by the instability, warned that the trial could increase cross-border tensions at a time when cooperation is needed most. South Africa has taken a more cautious approach, expressing concern over due process in trials held without the accused present. Meanwhile, Zambia finds itself caught in the economic and political crosswinds of the unfolding crisis. With its mining sector closely intertwined with that of Congo, any instability across the border has direct consequences. The copper and cobalt corridors that link the two countries are vital trade arteries, and delays at checkpoints have already begun to strain supply chains. From fuel shortages to job losses in the mining towns of Chingola and Kitwe, Zambians are beginning to feel the ripple effects of Congo's political upheaval. At the heart of the matter lies a difficult question. What message does this trial send to current and future African leaders? If peaceful transfers of power are followed by the threat of execution, will leaders feel encouraged to step down when their time comes? Or will they cling to power, fearing that justice may later turn against them? The debate doesn't end with Congo or Zambia. International institutions have weighed in. The United Nations has urged caution, warning that the proceedings could destabilize the already fragile Great Lakes region. The African Union and ECOWAS have called for transparency and due process, while expressing concern about the use of capital punishment against a former head of state. From Europe, the European Union emphasized the need for fairness and adherence to international legal standards, noting that trials in absentia often fall short of credibility. Human rights organizations such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch have condemned the death penalty outright, arguing that such measures risk turning a trial into a spectacle of revenge rather than a pursuit of justice. In Washington, the implications are strategic. The DRC is a key supplier of critical minerals such as cobalt, which are essential for the global tech industry. Instability in Congo could send shockwaves through global markets. U.S. analysts have suggested that while holding leaders accountable is important, mishandling this trial could backfire, deepening conflict and threatening regional security. Within Africa, leaders are watching closely. From Lusaka to Johannesburg, the outcome of this trial could influence future transitions of power. Edgar Lungu, Zambia's former president who maintained close ties with Kabila, now finds himself in a delicate position. His government must choose whether to defend the principle of political asylum or distance itself from a man under international scrutiny. As the courtroom drama continues, one thing is clear. The trial of Joseph Kabila is not just about an individual. It is about the larger questions of governance, justice, and reconciliation across the African continent. Will this moment be remembered as the start of a new era where no one is above the law? Or will it serve as a cautionary tale of justice gone too far? For millions of people, traders, miners, farmers, teachers, the stakes are deeply personal. A verdict in Kinshasa could mean the difference between economic stability and hardship, between regional peace and escalating conflict. Every border checkpoint delayed, every trade route disrupted, every refugee camp expanded. These are the daily consequences of political decisions. Even if the final verdict spares Kabila from execution, the region will not emerge unchanged. If he is acquitted, instability could rise from those who see the trial as a failure to address real suffering. If he is sentenced to life, the middle ground may prove too shaky to satisfy anyone. If the death sentence is upheld, it could shake Africa's political foundation and discourage peaceful transitions of power in the future. Ultimately, this trial forces a collective reflection. Can Africa build institutions strong enough to deliver impartial justice? Can political transitions be safeguarded by trust in law rather than fear of retribution? The answer lies not in Kinshasa alone, but in every capital across the continent. The Joseph Kabila trial is a mirror, reflecting both the progress Africa has made and the difficult path still ahead. It reveals the tensions between peace and justice, between stability and accountability, between power and the people. This is more than a legal battle. It is a test of Africa's commitment to justice, to healing, and to truth. The story is still unfolding. The world is still watching. And Africa must now choose the path forward, not for one man, but for an entire generation. So if you care about Africa's future, its justice, its democracy, its dignity, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay committed. Subscribe to our channel, share this video, and let the world hear Africa's voice, spoken by Africa itself. Let this be more than news. Let it be a call to action.